It's that time of year that you start thinking sweet potatoes, pumpkins, all the fall foods, and we're gonna get right into this one. So the first thing we're gonna do is go to the stove and start some sweet potatoes boiling. Sweet potato pie, it's a Thanksgiving classic at my family's house. We do not have Thanksgiving without sweet potato pie. And by the way, all these ingredients are down in the comments below. So my mom has always made sweet potato pie pretty much the same way, and it's a generational recipe that got passed down. But my wife went to our favorite restaurant, which is Ruth's Crust, and they make a sweet potato casserole. Potato casserole is the actual name for it, not sweet potato pie. But they make a sweet potato casserole, and they do theirs a little differently. And we love that one too. So I came home and I took both recipes and went through them, because thankfully Ruth's Chris publishes that recipe. And I went through them and found my favorite parts of both and put them together. And now we have our family's favorite sweet potato pie. And I make it for a lot more than just Thanksgiving. Anyways, you want to start with your topping. And this is the part that's majorly different. There's 2 or 3 schools of thought on topping. Some have nuts in it, some have no nuts in it, and some have marshmallows on top of just the sweet potatoes put together. Some have a little brown sugar coating. It doesn't matter, whatever one your family does. But if you want to try this one has the nuts, the brown sugar, the flour, all these ingredients kind of poured together and just loosely mixed, with just kind of a sandy texture. You'll see there, my hands are clean, I think. And then I add just a little cinnamon and nutmeg for just a little bit of that Thanksgiving kind of a spice feel. And there's our topping. We're gonna set this thing aside. So we've got our topping made. Now it's time to mash the sweet potatoes. I always, just for the ease of it, will start these boiling early before I start everything else. And just boil a whole sweet potato. Normally takes about 40 minutes if you don't turn the water off in the middle. It's easy to get a little watery, but this stuff is gonna bake. And then these things are still pretty hot. But the way I peel them is I literally just run my fork under the skin all the way out the end, and then I'll just kind of roll it off. And I'll just kind of show you with this one while this one's out of the way. It just rolls right off the sweet potato. Makes it real easy. Stuff's very, very fragile. I was looking at sweet potato pie recipes the other night, and for some reason I've got it stuck in my head, and I keep calling sweet potato casserole sweet potato pie this whole episode. So unfortunately, you're probably going to hear several times me refer to this as sweet potato pie in this episode, because my brain is heading in a different direction right now. But just forgive me, or make fun of me in the comments, either one, I don't care. Oh, this one comes off a lot nicer. You can see it just kind of really fold off. Now, drop this in the bowl. So now we're going to just take our sweet potatoes and we're just going to mash them. Now sometimes I'll use 3 sweet potatoes if they're kind of average. If they're really big like these, I'll just use 2. But because it's a casserole side, it's another one of them that's really easy to make ahead. So basically you can make this mash, stick it in your pan and flatten out the top and stick it in your refrigerator covered in tin foil or with the lid on your pan, and it'll be fine like that for a couple days. And then you make your topping that we made a little bit ago, set it in the fridge separately, and as long as you don't put them together, come back and make this in the next couple days. It's easy to make ahead for parties. If you're doing honestly, if you're doing a tailgate party or something like this and you're at a house, this is a great little dish to take, and the people there are gonna love it. It's really easy to make ahead a couple days if you got a day off or got an evening off, to make parts of it ahead and then combine it the day you actually need it, which makes, anytime I can do that with a dish, that just makes it so much easier. Alrighty. Moving all my stuff around, I'm like, what is that sound? And it has actually started coming down on us out here. This is one part you don't want to miss. You're putting your egg in. Before you do your egg, you want to whip that really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and whip this egg really good with my blender. Here's my sugar. Start with the sugar. We'll pour all around in here. Then we're going to add my brown sugar. And again, the brown sugar, that molasses, and it just gives that little bit of an earthy tone. It's just a really fall flavored thing to me. Then we're gonna go with our egg. So So I'm gonna add just a little bit, about a half a cap of vanilla here. And everybody knows that a capful is a legal measurement in the US. Anything to avoid having to use the metric system like the rest of the world. And then finally, my butter. Now we're just gonna mix this up, and I don't wanna over mix it. That's why I put all the ingredients in first, so I can just kind of smoothly mix this in a little bit, because it gets really watery really quick, especially if it's been on the stove a little bit of time like that was, having to sit and wait. Forgot my cinnamon and nutmeg. This is one of the most important parts, because that gives it that fall spice, pumpkin spice, fall spice flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour our mixture down into the casserole dish here. We're just gonna fill it up about a half inch, 3/4 of an inch there. So we're just gonna level that out in there kinda. And it just doesn't take much, just level out real well. And that's the base there. And you can make this in a bigger pan. This one's about probably about a 9x9 or 8x8 pan, something like that. You can make it a little bigger. If you do, you want to add a little more potatoes and a little more filling to it to make sure that you're getting good coverage with the sweet potatoes, because if they're too thin, they'll dry out, and you don't want dry sweet potato mixture. So now this topping is really where we're at. We're just gonna take our hands, make sure it's all mixed up well. A little bit of this might be sticky on the edges or something. Blend it real well, and we're just gonna kind of pour this right over the top here. So we'll take this now and we'll slide this in the oven. Okay, this has been out of the oven and it's rested for a few minutes, and now it is ready for the most important part of any dish. It's time to taste it. Honestly, it wouldn't be fair for me to taste Whitney's favorite side dish from Ruth's Chris without letting her try some of it too. So let's put it to the real test. Come on in here, babe.
Hang on.
She stubbed her toe. Give us 1 minute.
This is probably like my top thing that Zach makes for a side.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited.
And it's way cheaper than Ruth's Chris.
When he is making this, like, he has to put the topping somewhere else, because I will like keep eating it.
You'll come through and spill all my topping.
Yes,
I made extra and you didn't come through and eat it, so this has extra topping on
I
it.
took pieces of the part while you were cooking.
But it has no marshmallows. Oh, we gotta do the TikTok thing. They do this right here.
What?
Hold on, I gotta get a knife. I'm not even on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. But watch this. They do this. They go.
What's that mean?
Oh,
Is
you're
that
supposed
good?
to hear it. I don't know what it means. Burnt food say it sounds the exact same, but they like it.
That looks good.
This one right here will never let you down. Let's try it. What do you think, babe?
Ooh, hot.
Mm.
Let's go.
The way those flavors just come together, and you get that little bite of cinnamon with that sweet potato and brown sugar topping.
It makes the whole thing, like the topping makes.
I do like it with marshmallows, like my mom though. Sometimes I put marshmallows on the top, and that really does just add a little more.
Now, I used to only like marshmallows and sweet potatoes until he started making it like this, and now I prefer this.
Yeah, if for Thanksgiving, when you really want to up the sugar content, throw a couple of the big fat marshmallows on here too. But wow.
Here you go.
One bite of this, you'll thank me later.